Hey folks, my name is Kevin and it's time for a little bit more knife nerdery. Today we're going to be unboxing a knife that I'm honestly really kind of surprised that I like in some ways, and also it seems a very mean knife in others. To unbox it, we're going to use the Artisan Cutlery Small Arian, and this is a knife I just picked up recently from Screaming Pirate EDC. So let's get this open. Okay. Yeah, so what's in here is a knife from Berg Blades. I've been interested in Berg Blades knives ever since I saw like the Iron Pup. And then they came out with the Slim. And the Slim, I can't tell if they're trying to be funny, you know, like is it a joke or is it actually slimmer than their other knives? Because it's a really chunky knife still. But what they then made is this. There's the COA. This is the... Oh man. This is the Berg Blades Mini Slim. And as you can see from this, it is not a slim knife. This is an absolute nugget of a knife. And I am so excited about it. Okay, let's see. Can I flick this? Look at that stupid little knife. Oh, I love it. Okay, so wow, this is so freaking chunky. How thick is this blade stock? I am not someone that measures stuff normally in things, but I'm super curious. How thick is this? So this blade stock is 160 thousandths, and the overall knife is 0.52. So this is so thick in this dimension for how short it is in this dimension. But I, for whatever reason, am really, really drawn to these small little nuggety knives. Oh, it's kind of hard to flick. What did I do a moment ago that got it right? Is this just really tight? Yeah, this is really, really tight. This feels like it needs to be loosened. Can I do this? I don't normally fidget with these things on camera either. Oh good, it's a free spinning on the other side. I got a double keyed. Yeah. Okay, a little bit better. I don't know why I love nugget knives so much, but I just do. Something about these little cleaver knives really appeals to me. And I was talking with people, trying to actually talk myself out of buying this, about why it is that I love these kinds of knives. And because this is so different from what I initially was trying to get when I was getting into knives. When I first, and I think this is a good point, an opportunity to kind of like talk about like what has changed in my life as I've gone from trying to buy a knife that was purely functional for my real everyday uses to kind of accepting that I am in fact a collector. I never wanted to be a knife collector, but I have a box full of knives. Like it has to mean I'm a collector. And so what I've found is that I still need knives to be functional. I use basically everything I have. Some things way more than others, but like they're tools to me, 100%. But I've started opening up my horizons a little bit more to things that are just fun, and or getting things specifically because they're fun. This has a strong detent. Is like really clicking in there, and so this is a knife that's so thick in this dimension and so, abjectly silly that I'm not sure that I would have ever considered this when I first was looking at knives. But right now, with where I'm at in my kind of relation to this hobby, I love it. And okay, so how does this fit in my hand? I just also love small knives in general. I love small box cuttery knives, and I love That's the other thing. So I love sheepsfoot designs and Warncliffe designs. And these, I also love reverse tantos and anything with a very low tip that is just perfect for utility cuts. And someone, I forget which one of my friends commented on this to me, I think Casper. That perhaps the reason why I like these is because they're kind of a caricature. These cleaver knives are kind of a caricature of your traditional like sheepsfoot blade. And since I love sheepsfoot blades, these are kind of just like a fun exaggeration of everything about a sheepsfoot. You have all of the same things. You have a relatively flat blade, you have a relatively flat parallel top, you have a quick steep cutoff after a corner, and so this is by all intents and purposes a sheepsfoot blade. It's just everything's been kind of exaggerated to the point where now it's instead this tiny little micro cleaver. I love the way that looks with that swedge, but I will say the fact that there's that swedge there means that it's not as comfortable to put your finger on the top just because you're putting it on a much thinner spot. And since this is a knife that is clearly designed for utility cuts, I find that a little bit disappointing. It would be much more comfortable if they had left the full thick blade stock up there. And you can see that this flat runs all the way in, which means it is the full thickness that I said, 160 thousandths. And so it's not like this swedge is helping at all from from like a reducing drag. It is a little bit. It's going to reduce drag at the top, but it would be more comfortable if this was a flatter surface. But it's not like a corner. Could I wrap up around? No, it's not quite. Well, actually, yeah. If I choke up my thumb on the blade, put my finger right in that crevice right there, I can put my finger over this tip, and that's actually really comfortable. If I want a lot of control, that's actually a surprisingly good way of holding this knife. It would work even better if your hand is a little bit bigger than mine. My medium-sized glove hands, I'm on the slightly smaller side of hands in general, means that small knives tend to work for me, and they don't for some other people. But this particular grip, I'm like right on the edge of what makes this comfortable, and this tip is a little bit poking into me. That's grips in general. This is a small knife. If I put my finger on this top spot, which feels very, very nice, there's these nice chamfers all around. Then this is a 4-finger grip for me, kind of. I'm finding that this is a little bit odd in my hand. Like I'm finding like my finger is super cramped and I'm right up against this blade. And I don't really want that if I try to put my pinky there. But it feels a little bit odd if I'm here. And the reason is because of where this fits. And because it's right between my two fingers right now. And so to get my middle finger in that means I feel a little bit cramped. If I scoot back, this is probably how they expect me to hold it. But actually, that's not bad. Because then basically my finger's in this, my other two fingers are here, and my pinky finger is rolling off the back. It's just not how I immediately grab it. I immediately grab it much right around here. Oh well. This came in a lot of different varieties. This is the blue anodized stonewashed one with the stonewash handle. This, like I said, is very tight right now. I believe this is running on, this is definitely running on bearings, but this is like super, super tightened down. And this is also this is an incredibly strong lock bar. Like, wow, that is a very large amount of pressure. And so will this free fall if okay. If I push this all the way out, it does free fall. And so a large part of this like incredibly stiff action here is because of the pressure of the lock bar. It flicks, now that I loosened it just a slight, it flicks so much better. This is a really fun, stupid little knife, and I kind of absolutely adore it. I just think it's really cute. I don't know how well they'll show up. It says Berg Blades lasered in there. It's heavily skeletonized. Wow, extremely heavily skeletonized, but it still feels very heavy for its size. I don't know how heavy it is. Actually, I happen to have this. Wow, I'm going to measure this thing. I never measure stuff in my videos, and I'm going to measure everything about it. Yeah. Yeah, it is just under 3.6 ounces, and it is like a 2 1/4 or 2.5 inch blade, something like that. And so it's definitely a little nugget for its size. Okay, part of the other reason why I am excited about this, that grip kind of works. Just spread out a little bit. Anyway, is because I also just bought a different silly cleaver knife. I got an EMP EDC thick boy. And so I want to compare these and see just how their ratios all fit and which kind of stupid cleaver I like more. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Have fun.